and I sort of wandered over to see what was going on, and I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it, and she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be doing with this, right? What's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be alright, we'll sort the dress out. I said, oh, I can't be dealing with this. No. Right? So she's crying her eyes out. I said, it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, right? In the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, you know. I'm saying, what are you on about?
So there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah. You're out of order. Keep out.
Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, leave it.
Get out of my face.
I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah. 2 7-year-olds. Yeah. Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like, because, you know, he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there. Yeah. I accidentally, you know, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink. Right?
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Yeah. What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that... What were you wearing? Football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know. It was like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
Like crepe. You know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right. And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks,
a little bit of wrestling and shoving about and that, and it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down, and his tooth hit the sink,
right,
and it chipped and what have you. After that, like I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly, and there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, "Listen, kids, you know, don't get into trouble, because we're out there and we'll get you." Right, so sort of try to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh god, there's a copper here talking, and like my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
questions are going to get asked.
That's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
But did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said, you'll never take me alive, copper.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Some of the questions coming in now, Rick, are just, I don't know what they're intending, what response they're hoping for, really. This is one from Rob. He just says, I was just wondering, what are Carl's views on the human appendix?
What do you think, Carl? What do you think of the human appendix?
Never worried about it.
Well, no, I think Rob's point is that it's sort of pretty redundant now. Yeah. The appendix used to be an organ that was packed with these enzymes that help break down things like cellulose, but because of our diet now, and because cooking and other things, we don't need to eat a lot of cellulose. We don't eat very, very low grade things like rabbits, for example, huge appendix and cecum, and they use it to break down cellulose. They actually eat their own feces to get it through again, but we get a lot of nutrients out of food now. We eat very rich food, so we sort of don't need the appendix. And also, when something goes wrong with the appendix, if it bursts, it can infect you and you can die from it. So sort of what's the point in having it? We don't need it, and it can only cause us harm. That was the question, I think, that Rob was putting to you. So now what are your thoughts on the human appendix?
So this is kind of what we talked about before, where
he always says that. He always says something like, "Oh, we've talked as well," and the thing that he's talked about is nothing like it. Yeah. There's never. Go on.
No, but just like in the way that we've messed with our body and we've messed with the world too much.
Yeah.
If we've got an appendix, we must need it. If it's dangling about, right?
Well, no, because such is the human evolution is that as you said before, you know, it's no longer based on survival of the fittest, because we can fight nature and combat it. So our evolution, if you like, socially and everything else, it has been much faster than our biological evolution.
What I mean is we've obviously interfered somewhere along the way, and
we have interfered.
Yeah, we shouldn't have done, because it's the same way. Like if we didn't have planes and that, would we have wings now? If we'd have needed to get about,
No.
Would we have had wings?
No, the answer's no. Next.
No, but you say that, but look at the
Because
way...
he's right, says it because he's right.
No, but all I'm saying is you see that little picture of like an ape to man.
Yeah.
At first, they're crawling about on all fours because probably you're looking for food, so you want to be down there. So
Right.
if you're on both legs,
Yeah.
you're missing stuff that's on the floor.
What sort of time period do you think this? Because I mean, we started, dabbling with a plane maybe 100 years ago. So, what sort of time period do you think this little thing who was scrabbling around looking for food stood up and
I
walked?
don't know. I sort of don't worry about time. Sort
Right.
of
Well, I'll
behind-
tell you now, we
behind
wouldn't have
Rome.
wings now. If the Wright brothers had said, "Oh, forget it," we wouldn't have wings now.
What would happen? Right, here's another question. This is one that I chuck out to kids as well. We were talking about education, teaching kids stuff.
Sure.
What would happen? Right, we ruin this world. Right, goes wrong and that. Right, they shut it down. You go, we're moving. We go to another planet.
It's as simple as that in
Yeah.
his world. It's as simple as that.
We can't go to Mars because it's full of stuff that used to be in Dixon's.
It's like a tip.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So we can't go there. We go somewhere else.
So you find another planet, wherever it is. Right,
Wherever it
Um,
is. Yeah, easy.
something that I've always wondered about. If we do that, do we start New Year's or do we carry on? What do you know what I mean? Do we say, oh, it's still 2006, or do we go, it's world new, whatever,
Yeah.
new world?
That is definitely the first priority.
It's
Yeah.
year one, right? We've sorted that out. Right now,
Well, it depends, doesn't it?
once
Because a year might not be the same on this planet.
we'd sort that out, right? We'd sort out what year it is and that.
Well, no.
Um,
What I'm saying is, we'd have to start again anyway, because the planet might not take 1 year as we know it to go around the sun. It might not take a day to turn. A day is a day because that's how long it takes.
Yeah,
for
but
the
we'd have to carry on as we know because we don't want to start doing longer days and that. Otherwise, they'll just kick off and say, "This is rubbish. This new world. What are you doing?"
No, we
doing
wouldn't
a
have a
28-hour
choice.
day.
We wouldn't have a choice. A day is how long it takes
No.
the planet to
But a day's-
turn,
a day's-
and a year is how long it takes that planet to go around the sun.
but a
once.
day is man-made, really. There's places in the world where they're working in the dark, isn't there, in Iceland and that? But they don't go, well, it's dark all the time, so I'll stay in bed.
Well, not a day in Iceland.
Yeah, but we only work by that clock because that's what people use at the moment when they go, what time is it? You go, it's 20 past 11.
No. We use that because that's how long it takes the planet we're on to
I've
turn.
never worried about it like that. I've just always
Well,
gone,
no, I'm telling you,
Well, that's
once
because
again,
you weren't asked to get involved when they came up with the idea.
I'm telling you, that's what a day is. It's
Yeah.
how long it takes your planet to.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What?
No, I'm just saying that's fine and everything. But if when I was born, people said there's 26 hours in a day, I'd go, fair enough. I'm not going to argue.
Well, yeah, we could have made that how long an hour is. Yeah, we could have made hours shorter and get 26.
Well, they're
in.
saying they're going to do that. Because,
no, they're not.
No, they are, because
No,
there's
they're
so
not.
many people in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about before. They've got to create more jobs. The only way to have more jobs, keep shops open, take on more people. Everyone's happy.
That makes no sense at all.
Right, say if there's 28 hours in a day.
Yeah, it'd still be 24 hours long as we used to know it.
No, you'd have like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's like 20 past 25 or whatever.
Well, you're not making any sense at all.
No, I'm just saying.
The Earth would still take 24 hours as we know it now.
Forget it.
Hang on a minute. I want. There's more interesting territory here. Let's say we've got to our new planet, wherever that is. It takes 14 hours. Okay, to do its turn. So we call that a day, right? So we've now agreed that 14 hours is a day.
But nothing. It's going to take ages to get the town centre built and that. If you've only got.
I'm going with you. I'm defending you here.
All right. Yeah.
So we've got that. We've established what the day is. We've established what a year is. Right? It's year one. It's Carl year one. What next? All right. We've got all the people. We've moved to another planet. You said you had a bunch of other questions.
Don't forget, our sleep patterns have evolved on a day. The reason we sort of like go to sleep at night and have about 8 to 10 hours sleep is because that's our evolution.
No, but that's just because that's what we've got used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at a sloth, that's asleep all the time. Yeah, that's got the same watch as us. It's doing what
Yeah,
it
but
wants.
it evolved differently, didn't it? It evolved on this.
But it's living now in 2006, so wake it up. Right, you can't get away. You're not getting away with this anymore. If you want to live now, join in with us.
Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today?
Well, Carl's diary. You didn't
Yeah.
explain what it was.
Carl's diary.
Actually, as one person said, if we are going to get it published, we could maybe publish it as the Diary of an Idiot.
Very good.
So, riff down one of the most famous diaries. Sunday, got up, Sunny day, so I went for a walk in the park. There was a bloke walking down the street who was whistling some kind of annoying tune. He seemed quite happy with himself. Do people only whistle when they're happy? I don't whistle very much.
It's a good point. Whistling is so inane to me. But yeah, it's sort of like going, I'm content. It really is that thing that if they go, you go, well, Mr. Mellors, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Not only has your wife died, but you've lost the house. Thanks, Doctor.
Wouldn't happen.
No,
Doesn't
you
seem
don't
like, does
whistle
it?
when
Yeah.
you're sad. The other place you hear it, of course, is changing rooms. And that's men going, I'm whistling so I'm not looking at your cock. How could I be? I'm concentrating on whistling.
The lake was frozen over where I was walking. The ducks looked worried. They were sat on the edge of the lake waiting for it to melt. Were they, Carl?
Yeah, we just sat there looking, sort of going, oh, what's going on? I don't know. How long is a duck's memory? Because I wondered whether they're going, this doesn't seem right, but I don't know why.
I asked Suzanne why ducks don't use their wings much. They seem to walk and swim more and don't bother using their wings. Suzanne said she had to call her mum and dad, so I never got an answer.
The old excuse. Yeah. Suzanne. Oh, I can't talk now, Carl.
Gotta phone my mum. There was a marathon type run going on in the park. It reminded me of the time when we were moving flat. It was the day of the London Marathon. Me and Suzanne were walking down the middle of the road taking some stuff to our new flat. I was carrying a lamp and a kitchen bin. People were clapping me, thinking I was doing some kind of fun run.
Why were you walking on the same route?
Because it was when we lived on the Docklands.
Oh, brilliant.
There was no other route. The flat was just about 100 yards down the road.
They're going, look at the bloke with the bald wig. He's carrying a lamp and a bin.
Took a bag of old clothes to Oxfam. It was just old t-shirts and a couple of jumpers with holes in it. I don't think anyone will buy them. But the Oxfam is closer to the flat than the wheelie bin is. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about them ages ago where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees somebody who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than that.
Go on.
He remembers like going down that street as a kid on his bike whistling,
Yeah.
and then he's walking down the street going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling. He goes, "That's weird." Looks at it. It was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Oh, shit. What do you mean it was him as a kid?
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just
Well, it's impossible. It's rubbish.
some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No, it's
time.
not. That's impossible. So don't
It's
worry
just some
about
kind
it.
of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah,
just
it's something
some
you
kind of time
read
thing.
again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang, or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out.
Good point, though, isn't it?
Carl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze. More from that next week.
Hey, fool! Don't give me no back chat, sucker! I ain't here to mess with you, I ain't getting in no plane. I'm here to tell you all about Friday Night Comedy on Channel 4. There's 3 great new comedies. New Green Wing, yeah, fool, that's nearly ready. My name is from the creator Father Ted, sucker. Friday Night Comedy this Friday on Channel 4, fool. Switch it on, or I'll be round your house. You stay up all night shivering, 'cause you be so mad scared. Fool.
Oh, well, it's that time now. Yeah? It's the big one.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news!
Right, there was this
Monkey?
this fella right, who he had a problem with his eyes.
Yeah.
So he goes to the doctors and he goes, oh, I've got a problem with my eyes. And he goes, yeah, they're bad then. Right. He goes, It was in America, you know, like how you have to pay for medical stuff and all that. And the doctor said, "Oh, if I fix them, it's going to be like 10 grand, right?" It's like, "But I haven't got the money, doctor." He goes, "Well, I can't help you then. You know, there's a lot of people with bad eyes like them. Can't do anything for you." So he goes, "Oh, it's getting worse. Can't do anything." So anyway, so he goes home.
Is that the price of human eyes? Is it?
So he goes home. He's looking in the paper, right, and he sort of sees in the adverts at the back, and there's a little advert there saying cheap doctors. Right?
No.
Oh no.
So he's thinking, "Oh, maybe that's what I need, right?" So he calls them up. Woman's there. She's like, "Wait, what can I do?" He goes, "I've got bad eyes and that." She says, "Oh, come in tomorrow. We'll sort them out." She's like, "Brilliant. I'll see you then." Right? So he goes down there, and he says, "Right, you know, I can hardly see. My eyes have got in really bad state and what have you.
Right.
You need to have them sorted out. I don't know what you do. Whatever you do,
Right.
I need
Now,
doing."
his eyes are so bad. Can he see the doctors? He can,
Not really,
Can't
sort
really-
of
he's
squinting
squinting.
and that, but you know, so he's like, "Do I need to see the doctor to, you know, have a word and tell him what problems?" She's like, "No, don't worry about that. Just,
No. I'd be comfortable if it's a.
just you know, just let me inject you, and we'll knock you out, and we'll get on with it." And it's
we'll
like,
get the
well,
doctor in.
Can I just tell you something about chimps as well, just before you continue?
Go on.
You know they don't have opposable thumbs.
now,
which is
what are
what-
opposable thumbs used for?
well, to grip something, to do anything like, you know, even simple stuff like writing, so let alone surgery. So without an
But
opposable
can I just check
thumb-
now?
go on.
So if I was a doctor and I was doing any form of difficult surgery, would I need opposable thumbs?
You'd need opposable thumbs
To be a
And
doctor,
And without
okay.
you couldn't do anything. You
Th-
couldn't.
thanks for clearing that up.
Because the opposable thumb allowed something in our evolution called the precision grip.
Right.
So without that, you couldn't do anything.
I'm just glad they've got that cleared up. Thanks.
So anyway, so he's had the injection, he's nodding off and what have you, right? His eyes are sort of closing and that, he hears the door open, he sort of just sees this little fella coming in, he's like, "Hello, doctor," and he's trying to like make a chat with it,
Sure.
but like, he's just
It?
nodding off. No, just,
Oh,
he
never
or she,
call it
or
doctor.
he or she.
These people have done 7 years medical
Deeply
training.
respected people.
How could you call it it?
So anyway, he thought, "Oh, it's weird he didn't answer," but you know, doctors can be quite moody, you know, they're highly intelligent, they don't need
Especially little hairy ones.
well, just idle chit-chat, there's no room for that, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm
Yeah,
here to do a job.
oh, yeah, but you know, if I'm going in to have my eyes done, I want a little bit of idle chimp chat.
So anyway, time passes, right? He sort of wakes up and he opens his eyes, right? And it's brilliant. He can't believe it.
Eyes are perfect.
He's had the op. He can't believe the sight. He's like, "Nurse," right? And the nurse comes in because I can't believe it. This is brilliant. I've never had this such good sight. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was a baby,
Yeah,
and my eyes were new,
Yeah.
I didn't see this good.
great.
So she's like, "Well, you know, that's
You realise the nurse is a panda.
that's what we do, right?" So he said, "Right, so can I just see the doctor and just say thanks and that?" She's like, "Well, to be honest, you know, he's specialised in what he does. There's a lot of
What a load of bollocks this is getting.
Please.
Where did you get this from?
No, come on. Let's hear the end of the news.
there's a
Wow.
lot of like operations he's got to do.
Yeah.
So you know, leave him to it. He's just having a kip. You know, I'll let him know that you were grateful. You know, pay us the check. Off you go. Go and enjoy looking at stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, "No, I just what's wrong with that? I just want to see that." She's
No,
like,
it's
"No,
fine.
leave it. Just leave."
Yeah, exactly. Leave it. If
And
he
he's
says-
like, "Yeah, but I can't. You know, I want to thank him. So he's done such a good thing for me." So they're getting into a bit of an argument and what have you, and the voices are raising, right? Door
I'm
opens.
going to wake the doctor up.
Well, that's what they did. They woke it up, right?
They
so,
won't get up.
it.
So the door opens, right? Little monkey comes out,
Oh.
and he's like, "What's going on here? It's a hospital. Why is a monkey knocking about?"
Yeah.
So the woman said, well, "What do you mean? He's the doctor, right?" So he's like, "You are having a laugh, aren't you?" She goes, "Look, don't complain. Your eyes are sorted.
Yeah.
You know, the doctor's done it. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have come here." She said, "Well, what do you mean you didn't know that?" She said, "The advert in the paper you read, it's like chimp doctors."
That is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. That really is the worst.
What? And because his eyes were so bad, he thought it said cheap doctors.
He saw the advert and it said chimp doctors, but because his eyes were bad, he just saw it.
What journal is this in?
It was years ago, because it sort of says how the monkey sort of carried on working for a few years. He couldn't do anything
Then
about
just
it. He had to
retired to
leave
play
it.
golf.
It's absolute bollocks.
It's
There's
abs-
no way. There's worst. I mean, it's not even worth talking about.
So-
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's the most ridiculous monkey news you've ever heard, and that's saying something.
Chimp doctors, cheap. It's easy mistake.
Well, that's the end of another podcast. That's week 11. We've got one more to go next week. So go to wickedgervais.com, see some of the things we've been talking about, register, so we can let you know what's happening when we're back.
Who hosted this podcast?
It was the great guys at Positive Internet who host the world's #1 podcast, The Ricky Gervais Show, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant,
Bye-bye.
and Carl Pilkington.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.